This is the Henry's Child Podcast. Am I crazy? Or am I just raving?
Hey guys, Thom here. Welcome to part 2 of the Jarrett Holly Am I Crazy or Am I Raving podcast. To bring you up to speed, Andrew and Rich are talking to Jarrett, and they've talked about basically Jarrett's induction into Henry's Child around 1995 and how he started working on live sound and eventually got into recording and then joined Henry's Child kind of around the time that Andrew Smith left. And we had just started the discussion of Satellite Trampoline 3, which was the record from 1999 that Andy Makin sang on. So the guys are going to continue the stories from here, really starting here with the first time that Andy Makin had left the United States and went back to the UK.
Andy ended up leaving.
Right.
And I believe, how long did you guys stay together after Andy left?
Well, we actually never stopped. There was always the intention that Andy Makin was going to come back as soon as we figured out all the legal, issues.
Oh, right. That's right.
It's a lot more complex than one would think. And we'd never, dealt
Right.
with anything like that, actually having somebody come in. So, yeah, we just continued on. And, we kind of tried to do what we thought we probably should have done with Henry's Child when Andy Smith was in the band, and that was to just
You're talking about me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Take it to the next level. I mean, what do we do? So
Right.
relocation was on our top of our list.
Bigger market.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we had decided that the Bay Area. Let's move to the Bay Area. So Thom, in the meantime, had decided to be our scout. So he quit his job, relocated down to San Jose. We had friends down there, Mike and Logan.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
And also got him into his current field,
Yeah,
which he is working in now.
Things have a way of working their way around, don't they? But Doug had health issues, and things kind of went off the rail. I actually wound up moving down there for a few months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the continuation of the probe.
Yeah, exactly.
Slowly relocating. I was soon to follow, but that never really came to pass.
It just didn't work.
What year was it when it stopped and when you took your next step?
Well, Andy left in November of 99. Somewhere between Thom must have moved in 2000 because I moved in early 2001.
Okay.
And came back, and then me, you, and Thom
And
continued. And we continued playing. Yeah. Doug was still having health issues, but me, you, and Thom made a trip to Texas trying to do the same kind of probe thing.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And Thom was still living in California at the time.
That's right. Because he met us there.
Yeah, we were looking at maybe relocating the band to Texas. It was always this idea of trying to, what can we do? How do we make this continue and to the next level?
Yep.
From there, we decided on building the studio in Springfield, me and you. But no, it was 2003, somewhere around there, between 2001 and 2003, because you went off, I think it was 2003 that you actually went off to the Conservatory.
March of 2003 is when I moved to Arizona.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, how long were you there for?
I was in school for 9 months.
Okay.
It's a 9-month program. To graduate, you have to do an internship at a studio of some sort.
All right.
I was thinking about looking around for one there in Arizona. Arizona was kind of cool. Phoenix is a big area.
It is.
It's a big market.
It is.
It was really cheap to live. The summer sun is a little brutal, though.
Yeah, that's a thing, right?
Yeah. 97 degrees at 2 a.m. is...
That's a thing.
It's a thing to deal with.
Walking across the parking lot and your shoes start to stick.
Yeah. But no, at the time, the big markets were Los Angeles, New York, Nashville.
And you chose?
A little bit of Chicago.
You chose
Los Angeles.
Indeed.
Because it's closer.
Right.
So yeah, that, and fortunately, a little bit prior, our good friends, Big Hippie,
Yep.
they were down there.
Oh, got it.
They were down there scouting around, playing shows, kind of trying to do their thing. So they were already there. They were living in Hollywood at the time, so kind of had a couch to crash on. Yeah, got an internship there fairly quickly. at Studio Atlantis
Somehow
there in
I was
Hollywood.
not surprised.
Yep. And was doing my internship. Was doing it. Internships are unpaid.
Indeed.
Right.
How long did
So-
that last?
It lasted 2 weeks until the owner called me in his office and said, "Do you want to work here?" Okay, I thought I was going to have to struggle a little bit here in the big city of Angels. Said, yes, sure, great.
Once again, a validation of your talent, sir.
Validation of my talents, my dusting skills
Feels good.
were very
Were they
very
used
high
well?
end. They were used well, yes.
Fair enough.
You wipe your finger on top of the door jambs and go, let's clean these.
I mean,
Hey,
someone
John.
who would actually take care of the studio.
Yeah.
Got that.
So that might have made an impression. Actually, there was a session in one of the smaller studios the night prior, and there was a reported issue with they couldn't get microphones to work
For whatever reason.
For whatever reason. And he asked me. The next day it was dark. Dark means that there's nobody in the studio. It's just a kind of open for business, kind of do the doodads, cleanups, and things like that. And he said, "Hey, why don't you go in there and see what's going on?" I said, sure. Took a couple of microphones, plugged them in, did some poking around, lifted some lids, and looked under the hood, so to speak.
Indeed.
Determined why it wasn't working. And
Fixed it.
fixed it. Well, not fixed it, but it was, this is why. Oh, okay.
Got it.
So then we printed a little note that says, phantom power will only work on inputs 1 through 4 because those are plugged into the XLR inputs,
Sure,
et
sure.
cetera. Technical detail.
Geek speak.
Yep. Yeah, as I was kind of putting everything the studio back together, that's when he walked in.
Offered you a job.
Said, "You want to work here?"
As a matter of fact, yes.
The head runner just gave his notice. I'm like, all right.
Good timing. Timing is a good thing
Yep.
in the working world also.
Yeah, I think so. A little ego boost though. I think he saw that he found a decent replacement, so he could
Right.
get out.
Yeah. Made it a little easier.
He's like,
nice. Well, that's good to hear.
So, yeah,
How long
spent,
did you work there for?
"Oh, I was there until, wow, when were we doing the?"
Well, you guys built another studio in Santa Monica at the same time. Kind
Yes.
of like on your own, you and
Yes,
our friend Rich Miller.
Yes. Well, I was there. When did First Sleep?
2007.
2007.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I worked at Atlantis from 03 to 05.
Okay.
I think. And then I went to work for Tom and I's common buddy, we brought up earlier, Eben.
Yes.
He had then gone off to do a information marketing company and was doing a lot of audio related things, interviews
So you
and
went to
stuff
work for
like
him
that.
then?
And yeah, that kind of stuff, needed to be edited and
Interesting.
and produced basically
Right.
in a sense. So I went to work for him in 2005, but remained very good friends with the owner of Atlantis, John. And so, we'd hang out from time to time and kept that relationship, which was beneficial because during was it Christmas break?
Yeah, Christmas break. Yeah.
During the Christmas break when things kind of shut down in the entertainment world for about
2006.
Yep.
Yeah.
For about about a month. From about the 1st of December to a week after New Year's is when things kind of fire back up. It's pretty much dark. Nobody's booking studios.
free
and
reign of
things
the
like
studio
that.
during that time.
I called John and said, "Hey, I'm doing a project and would love to mix it.
Yeah.
Is anybody in the way?" He's like, "Sure, come on in." So
Well, I know what album you're talking about. You're talking about First Sleep.
First Sleep.
Yep.
That's it. The hours in between.
First Sleep, which was officially Henry's Child with
Brian Forster.
With Brian Forster.
Brian Forster, that's right.
Yeah.
So in my absence in the City of Angels, those guys had kind of got riled back around and got back together playing music again, writing
Right.
music, and found Brian and got him on board. And next thing you know, they got a band.
And so I think we should play a song, and I'm gonna determine this one.
Oh, are
I'm
you?
just gonna
now?
unless if you
Let me guess. Let me
you can
guess.
veto this.
Let me guess.
You don't need to guess. You know.
Oh, I know.
Other Side is my request.
Yes, Andrew. We're gonna play Other Side.
Nice.
Keep on drifting, I'm drifting farther out to sea. Keep on drifting, I'm drifting farther out to sea. Keep on drifting, I'm drifting farther out to sea. Can you see me? Can you see me?
My favorite song by that band.
It's a good song.
I agree.
That was a fun record.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Pretty complicated.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys were all over the place trying to get that thing done.
Geographically, we were all over the place. Yeah. When it was decided that I was going to head up the project from LA, I was going to come up. We were gonna double dip in a sense, and I was coming up for another reason, a family reason, a visit, a vacation, or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's okay. So I gave the requirements. I said, we need a studio that has, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Thom went on the hunt for a studio, and it was kind of difficult. There's not a lot of top-end studios in Oregon that basically had an open week
right
when we wanted them to have one.
Fancy that.
Exactly. So finally ended up finding one in McMinnville.
Yeah.
Thom found one in McMinnville. It was called In Step.
Yep.
And it was just a little studio right next to a, I think it was a beauty parlor, actually.
Yeah, it was right downtown.
Downtown. He mostly did jazz and, mellower types of recordings. I mean, they had a grand piano there in that little room, but it was still big enough to accommodate Doug's giant drum kit. Mm-hmm. They had a nice selection of microphones. They had a Pro Tools HD system, had some nice preamps and things.
And then you went and fixed their studio for them.
Well, as we were doing sound checks, as we were doing checks on stuff, the metering just didn't look right to me. And I was kind of pulling my hair out, going, what is going on with this? I'm checking all the settings, this and that, and then took a peek behind the rack, under the hood, so to speak, and noticed it was the main inputs for the interface were plugged into the other one, and it needed to be plugged into the one that was not plugged into.
So they were quite literally wired incorrectly.
They were wired incorrectly.
I love it.
I mean, it still worked.
And then, again, attention to detail.
Attention to detail. And all that is just like for meter reference and,
nothing important.
Nothing important. Yeah, I'm going, why are my meters maxing out, but I'm hardly getting any little waveform, or it's not distorting, it's not clipping.
Yeah.
Anyway, fixed that. Much better. On with the project. End of the day, guy comes in. He's like, hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, we're finishing up for today. We'll be back tomorrow. I said, oh, by the way, I replugged your input on the interface, so now the meters actually are accurate. Oh, really? Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
I was wondering. There you go.
Thanks for fixing my studio.
Right.
Exactly.
Here's a 20% discount.
So then you played with First Sleep.
No.
Not on the album.
Not on the album.
No, I was not. I was not in First Sleep. I was living in LA. This was their band.
It's your recording project.
Backtrack a little bit. You guys did record a little bit at a local place here. Didn't quite turn out that well.
Yeah, it was a real quick kind of demo thing when we first got back together.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that sparked the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
So after the drums were done at that studio, because you know that's this place where you need multiple microphones, you need a space to do it in. A lot of the other stuff could be done, we thought, at their practice place, in the trailer.
In the trailer, yeah.
At Brian's house.
When we say
Brian's
trailer,
house.
we should preface this, but when we say trailer, not a mobile home.
No, it's a box trailer. It's a shipping
trailer that gets pulled behind a truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Converted into a practice place.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And this was not at Brian's house.
This is at Brian's
parked at
father-in-law's,
yeah,
Gary's.
parked it. Yeah.
Here in
Anyway,
Salem.
I think we got through one song, and it just kind of wasn't really working. Didn't really. I'm like, nah, we got to figure something else out. Could you guys come down to my studio in Santa Monica for a few days and just knock the rest of it out? I mean, you already had the songs. I mean, they've been playing them live. There wasn't a whole lot of tweaking and stuff to do.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of
Right.
If you're
producing.
consistently,
Yeah.
it's hard to get across to
Yeah.
people if you're consistently playing songs, how much easier they are to record.
Yes. So, yeah, figured it out. Came down. Rich and Tom came down, knocked out some bass and guitars. You know, again, the parts were already established. There wasn't much. There wasn't a whole lot of experimentation to do.
You already had the drums.
We already had the drums. Oh, in the meantime, I was doing all the drum comping and editing and things like that because we did multiple takes, and that's
Right.
kind of how that worked. So when they were preparing to come down to do their parts, I was doing all the editing and stuff and sending back little,
Snippets.
snippets. Yeah, came down to my little studio there in Santa Monica, the Soundwave, which I later sold to some dude. Finished off the guitars. Brian was able to get a couple days off.
Yep.
He came down, knocked out the vocals in 3 days, 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it was
he
really
got like
quick.
an extended weekend
Yeah.
kind of thing. So knocked those out, and then immediately had Atlantis booked for mixing. And as soon as Brian was done, he kind of had to take right back off.
Yep.
Had to head back home. Rich stayed around for another couple days. Tom had to leave in another day or two. I think he left right after Brian. Yeah, did the mix right there.
Turned into a really nice album.
Did a few overdubs. I think Rich did a couple of vocal overdubs for
Vocal overdubs and some keyboards. Yeah.
Yep. Atlantis had some keyboards and some synths and stuff like that.
So what year was this?
Or
2007. Yeah.
2007.
Okay. Now, when did you come back? Because you said this sparked the conversation of you coming back.
No, it had to. When did that record come out?
2007.
It came out in
Well,
2007.
What's it say on the wall?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was mixed Christmas of the previous year.
Yes.
We mixed it over the Christmas break, 2006. Okay. So
It came out in 2007.
Yeah, and then it came out in 2007.
Right, Tom?
Yep.
Yeah. Tom's nodding. So.
Yeah. It was mastered a few months later.
Yeah.
There in Hollywood. Another connection through a
Freddie
friend.
Becker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another connection through a friend. And then I was in LA through to the mid 2009.
Right.
Okay.
So the record been out for, year or so, playing shows, and
Doing okay.
my life was doing a little shift. Personal life was doing a shift. I was working for a virtual company so I could live anywhere.
Okay.
And there was just really no real need for me to be in LA anymore.
Got it.
I could work from anywhere. These guys were courting me to kind of, hey,
Come back.
you should come
Come
back.
back. Come home.
Back. Now that you can work from anywhere, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
We call that working you.
Yep. Yeah. Wooing. They were,
Oh,
they
you're
were,
wooing.
They were re-wooing me.
Yeah, but is it different when you're just basically wooing family to come back
Yep.
to family?
Exactly. So, yeah. Didn't need to be in LA anymore.
Came
So
home.
that was, of course, great. You mean I could cut my living expenses by half or more while making the same money and get to play in a band? Oh, wow. Yeah, totally.
And I
So
believe,
came back mid-2009.
And then when was this studio? The studio started soon
we're-
thereafter.
where
Right
we're sitting?
thereafter.
Yep.
They were looking and scouting and sending me all the scouting things, and
Yep.
you were like doing some videos and stuff. You were sending me. It's like, hey,
Got
we're
it.
thinking about this place.
Yep.
This place is a candidate. This place is a candidate, and I was getting all that stuff while I was kind of finishing up my tenure in LA and getting moved back. And then they found this place,
Yeah.
Trans Uber.
And thus Trans Uber Studios and 7 Second Circle was born.
So that brings us to 7 Second Circle.
We were I moved up, back up. That was the whole point of it, joining First Sleep. It was called First Sleep at the time, of course. And we were in the midst of writing a new record.
Okay.
And during that whole thing, we were just kind of starting to, how could we get ourselves out there a little bit more efficiently? And, we had a lot of friends in the marketing world that, we could take cues from. And so we started to kind of take cues from them and SEO guys and stuff like that. And we just kind of learned that First Sleep, is just kind of odd to say.
Yeah.
It's just a little weird to say.
It's one word.
Yeah.
First Sleep.
First Sleep, exactly. If you try to Google it, all kinds of other random stuff comes up. So we wanted to change the name, but be actually smart about it.
Right.
So I think we sat on a couple of different names for a few months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we kind of, you came up with it, Rich, and it was, we wanted something with rhythm, something that kind of rolled off the tongue kind of well. It had some rhythm to its syllables and things like that. And then we had to vet it on the web. So when you came up with that, kind of passed it around, everybody's like, yeah, I like that.
Right.
And so then Thom went to work on vetting it, and the results came back positive. And so we changed the name to 7 Second Circle. Mm-hmm. So whenever you search that,
that's the only thing.
It's the only thing that comes up.
Yeah.
So,
because I remember part of the issue with First Sleep was not only was it, you'd have to explain every time,
Right.
first what,
Yeah.
and the fact that firstsleep.com was not available because somebody had parked it.
Yep.
They weren't going to give it,
Yep.
So we had to do something, and and we kind of decided. I don't know if it was a decision as much as just kind of stand back and kind of see where we're at and what do we want to do as far as a band? What type of music do we consider us? We never did this with Henry's Child ever. And I still don't know if you could because I think it was too broad. But with 7 Second Circle, we said, well, what genre do we fit into? And we found that, we're really kind of a prog band, a neo-prog band.
And that was also based on the songs that we had at the time.
Sure.
They were a little bit more
Proggy.
diverse, proggy. Yeah, they had, lots more parts to them. We came up with the concept, so that informed a lot of the lyrical ideas. And, we just started recording. Well, we were still recording, doing pre-production, getting songs together, playing with arrangements, doing a lot of that stuff, playing with melodies and lyrics and things like that. And when we kind of got our little batch of songs, and we set forth to recording. Made a schedule to get the drums done, and got those all kind of done in one session, and just went on from there.
It was a bit of an experience and with us, and an experiment at the same time. Was the fact that this is the first time that we had the time in our own studio to do things at our own pace.
Yeah.
Right, and everything. We'd never done that before. And partially because of the way things are set up with everybody being kind of blown to the four winds. Mm-hmm. In the past, we'd always come back to Crestwell, and everybody lived within 20 miles or whatever, and so it was never a big issue. It's like we get together and write songs.
Right.
But being that we're so spread apart and everything, we had to kind of change the whole way that we approached songwriting, and we didn't. The old way was just to get in the room and play.
Kind of jam, yeah.
And that's not how we put this together.
No. There was a little bit of that in the beginning, but not a lot.
No.
Not a lot.
And then, but that's...
Most of the playing came with developing things. Like you'd have riffs and little ideas and stuff that you'd bring in from home, and we'd work on those and kind of would develop from that. Sometimes we'd play it live. Sometimes it would just be all studio stuff.
But that, in all honesty, that seems to be the new model.
Yeah.
Right? That's how everything that we do is.
Yeah.
I mean, even the new Henry's Child stuff, a lot of it was just... We didn't just write those all together in one room. It was like, I think Tell Me True may be like one of the more kind of throwback songs.
There's a few.
Sure.
Stars.
Well, Stars is, a little bit.
There's a few.
But I mean, it was a Thom and Doug riff that turned into a song. So that prompted the songwriting right there in the practice place.
Yeah.
But whereas 7 Second Circle, for the most part, we couldn't do that.
Right.
And even the new 7-second circle stuff was. I would like to have a little bit more of interaction, but I think that it's the same.
Yeah, it's going to be
model.
tough just with the scheduling of everybody.
Scheduling and just geographical,
Yep.
issues.
But out of that came a great record.
Yeah. Still, I mean,
Speaking of that, Jarrett,
Yeah.
would you say the 7-second circle album currently is the pinnacle of your recording skills and the showcase for how far your skill set has come over the years?
Well, without putting a label on it, it was probably my most proudest moment.
I like that label instead.
Yeah.
So what song would you like the audience to hear, my friend?
One of the songs that just, for me, came together in every teeny tiny little detail and aspect, from the songwriting to the song itself to the performances from everyone to the mix.
That song.
I had a lot of fun mixing this song because a lot of these little detail elements came about while I was mixing it.
During the process.
Yep.
Which one's that?
That would be Softly.
Then let's play Softly.
softly, softly.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Pretty good song.
Everything from Brian's vocal performance. I mean, he's at the top of his range. I mean, the emotion is there. The grit is there. The variances are there. You know, I mean, he goes from soft to hard in a split second, and then back to soft again.
That ain't easy. And
the rhythm of everything was great. And then for me, the fun stuff was incorporating a lot of things that just didn't exist in the recording of the song. That in that second verse, there's those little delays that come in from different words. Those were taken from the previous verses, and kind of incorporated into the keyboard sounds and the guitar swells, and there's just lots of atmosphere and power all encompassed in this one little 4.5 minute track.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
It hits hard. It's high impact. It's emotionally driving. It's one of my favorites. Came together really well.
It did.
Agreed.
Whole album came together.
Yeah, and again, that's just a snippet of how everything came together.
Yeah.
Very well.
Keeping it open-ended and not putting any parameters on song lengths or anything. Granted, we don't do that with Henry's Child either, but there's a difference because just the whole idea of having a concept and trying to keep within the construct of a
self-created constraints.
Sure, and we kind of, it took a long time because we were going to make sure it's perfect.
Yeah.
In our minds, at least.
Yep. Or as perfect as we could get it.
Yep. So every time we went back to the shed, we'd open the door and go, I need sanded again, man.
Yep.
It's wet sanded and get it good.
Yep.
So then, the new Henry's Child album, which kind of popped out of, was it out of necessity or was it out of what happened? Because we started recording this before and things just were not going the way that we wanted them to go.
We did. We started recording this with a great friend, Gary Spinrad. Mm-hmm. It was executive produced by Elvis Simmons. I think that's pretty rare.
Right.
That might be his only executive producing credit he's had in his career. Recorded with some great guys in Bend, but our performances weren't that good.
Yeah, there was something going on.
They were lacking. And we got what was almost a final mix of two of the songs. I'm over at Rich's place in Lebanon, and we listened to it inside his house. We listened to it, his good stereo speakers. Then we listened to it on his computer speakers. Then we go out into my car and listen to it. I think we even got into your car and listened to it.
Yeah.
And we said no. We were done. This is not the level that we wanted it to be. I think to quantify, we talked about 7 Second Circle. The album is 95 plus. I mean, that is a solid A to A plus. It is a great album in every way. And this wasn't going to be that.
No.
And so we realized that. We told those guys this isn't good enough, and mostly our fault for our performances, not on them. This was on us. And approached you, sitting in my place, saying, we need you, man. Are you willing to commit? You thought about it for a while and said, I'm in. And then it expanded rapidly from there.
Yes, it did.
Because soon thereafter...
Fairly small personnel change.
Yeah, Doug.
Facetiously speaking, of course.
Indeed.
Right. The drummer.
Suddenly Doug was gone.
That's a big deal.
It is. And we had to find a drummer. And through a great friend, we found Toby Lugo. And he came in and recorded drum tracks that were great. And then within a couple of months after that, he sort of invited himself into the band, and we said yes. We all decided we liked each other.
Yep.
And we had another personnel change. Mm-hmm. I think it was New Year's Eve, wasn't it? New Year's Eve extended the offer to Jarrett to, I don't know if it's rejoining the same band. How would you describe that? What would you describe? What did you do? Did you rejoin the same band you'd been in?
Sorta.
It's kind of hard to describe, right?
The quote-unquote band that I joined was not this band.
Right.
As you as the front man.
Correct. We'd never played together except once on stage.
I guess I did rejoin, but I didn't rejoin the band I was in. I rejoined the band that I was helping with.
The previous incarnation?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. There's a full circle. That's like a wide loop right there.
Well, you think about it.
Loop.
It's a big jump, right? Because what's the difference between 7 Second Circle and Henry's Child?
the singer.
Right. So,
Well, no,
That's it. You know, and what I find fascinating, though, and I can see this, we recorded the Demonic Machines album together.
yep.
You and I did all those vocals together, obviously, and a bunch of the mixing. I mean, you did a lot of that by yourself, but I was there for a bunch of that mixing. We did the Memory of Green demo.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Okay, that was a quick 2-day demo.
Yep.
Still.
In the final incarnation.
Yep.
The trio of you.
Yep, myself
Yep.
and Rich and Dale Bradley.
Yep.
I see the change in your presence in the studio.
Ah.
I see that every time. You have much more confidence than you've ever had. You know what you're looking for, and you work very hard to work with the artist who is across that glass to get
Right.
that performance out of them. And I'm sure Brian feels exactly the same way. I know Doug does.
It moved from being good at the technical process to working with the artists and getting the performance out of them. That's
And you have
good
a
for the song, good for, the album,
and you have a unique listening because you've heard all these songs so many times and you
Right.
know all the players so well.
Right.
So you really
I've
know
I've
when
heard
when
them-
we sound our best. When Rich sounds his best, you know. When I sound my best, you know.
Exactly.
When Doug does, when Brian does, when Thom does. Now you're getting the listening for Toby.
Yep.
And we're actually going to re-record some drums because listening to them now, we know he can play them more precisely.
Yeah, it's that subtlety that you hear, like when we're doing vocals. There's
Absolutely.
a difference between singing it in tune and then singing it in tune with character.
Absolutely. And there can be too much character
there can be
and
too
too
much
little character. You
Right.
sing it perfectly in tune, but there's too much gravel.
Right.
It changes the whole timbre and effect of the song. It's fascinating. It's very subtle. Takes a lot of precise work. Attention to detail. I say
Attention to
once
detail.
again.
Yep.
Each word matters. Each stroke of the guitar matters.
so speaking of the new Henry's Child album, is there anything that may be remotely,
Done enough to play.
yeah,
Done enough to play.
A little tease.
Well, what came out really well so far is a new song.
Oh yeah.
It's not an old Mnemonic Machine song. It's not an old Henry's Child song that we're kind of bringing back to the... It's a brand new written song.
Which one's that?
Tell Me True.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's got this really cool, grooving,
It does.
kind of funky?
tight, yeah,
It is.
funky.
It's got some attitude. It's got some hop.
Yeah, and a big part of that attitude is the way the vocals came out.
Oh.
That was a fun process.
That was fun.
with you.
Agreed.
We worked very hard on that one.
Yes, indeed. And
Yeah.
I appreciate your complete lack of compromise.
Yep.
You won't compromise, and
No.
you're willing to push that same line over and over until it gets to a space where
Yep.
it's good enough for you.
Exactly.
The enemy of great.
Like the enemy of great.
That's it. Let's go
All
ahead and play that.
Let's check it out.
I saw you standing on the mezzanine, somewhere in between, right in front of me, and 1 inch from my daydreams. Oh God, now we're alone. My backseat'll never be the same when I get home. I drink alone and wait for you to light up my phone. Tell me true, tell me why. Inside my head, and you're never gonna say goodbye. You tell me true, tell me why. I still see you when I close my eyes. Tell me true, tell me why. Inside my head, are you ever gonna say goodbye? You tell me true, tell me why. Or say goodbye. Oh, so young, so beautiful, so easy to tell tall tales. To my fantasies are spinning me into dreams. You'll beg me to see all your thoughts, they push and shove, but I know what you're thinking of. Forbidden words like lust and love, you must discover to be my lover. Tell me true, tell me why. Inside my head, and you're never gonna say goodbye. Tell me true, tell me why. I still see you when I close my eyes. Tell me true, tell me why. Inside my head, are you ever gonna say goodbye? Tell me true, tell spies infiltrate their way inside my skin. Whatever state I'm in, and I am caught red-handed thinking thoughts of you. You want me to, you know you do. What I'll do next time when I'm alone with you. Tell me true, tell me why. Inside my head, and you're never gonna say goodbye. You tell me true, tell me why. I still see you when I close my eyes. Tell me true, tell me why. Inside my head, are you ever gonna say goodbye? You tell me true, tell me why. Oh, say goodbye, and I'll always have your eyes, and the way you look like night. And I swear, I still chase you. Tell me true, tell me why. I said goodbye.
Well, that sounds great. I'm totally stoked about the new album.
Yeah.
It seems everything is kind of coming together, and so it's not like we're done, right?
Yeah,
We have quite a bit more to do.
quite. It's amazing to think back the days of Dogwood.
Yeah,
and
exactly, right?
Recording the bass tracks for Clearly Confused, and that process, and just how much further everyone has come.
Yeah.
It's true.
Technology, you guys as performers and artists, and my skill set.
And really, I'm not sure whether it's performance or art, but your ability as a producer now to get those great performances out of us. That's a thing. It's not just you twiddling knobs behind. Even if you're a great knob twiddler, which you are,
Right.
there's more to it than that. And most people don't realize that.
Yeah.
They don't get how much work goes into a single line of a song if it's just not quite there.
Right.
Got to keep going and maybe even leave it and come back. And that's on you most of the time.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
So
that.
I see a vocalist sitting to my right,
I see one too.
and I see a studio sitting to your right
There it is.
yeah.
that seems to be calling.
I think we're going to go record some vocals right now.
Yeah.
Wow.